Hi, it's me, your void, and it's Summerween! I'm a tad bit late to the party because I slept in. Oops. So this is my first matcha latte of the day. It's very sad looking because I made it with oat milk and oat milk just doesn't foam right. I don't know, so it's just green goop in the same color of the walls. No, I did not choose that color. It's not on me. And I have no idea what I'm going to read first. I just know that I have to read something. I guess. Fucking plain. Given that all of my reads for this readathon are of a digital nature, and I don't need to go looking for anything. It's all right here. I hope that there is no other heat wave coming, because last week we had a huge heat wave in Germany, and that was not fun, even for me, even for someone who loves heat and the sun. This garden hates me. And yes, I know it's all dead and shit. Again, we had a heat wave. Leave me alone. So I'm going to watch the news, I'm going to drink my matcha, and then I'm going to check out what I'm reading. I'm not going to read the Ballad of Black Tom right away, because that I have that one in for the prompt of read something in the dark. And I literally just put up the blinds, so it's not dark anymore. So that's going to be a couple hours now, but yeah. Matcha and news first. I am currently waiting for editing software to do its thing, so I thought I hit you with an update because I read another thing, as you probably have seen in the clips before this. I finished The Salt Grows Heavy, I think is the title, by Cassandra Khaw. It is described as a dark fairy tale, a dark version of The Little Mermaid, and it's definitely a dark version of The Little Mermaid. The plot is a bit weak, I'd say. Like the point of this novella is to make a point about the cruelty of mankind towards things that are different, even though these things might be really fucking dangerous towards, like, for mankind. But it is the way it is written is just so good. So good. And it's very brutal. It is very graphic, full of gore and monsters and shit. It's so good. It was so good. In the Salt Grows Heavy, we follow a mermaid. Well, mermaid. She says that mermaid is the name given to her kind by people. She herself never tells us how they call themselves. So we're going with Mermaid. And it's basically the story of The Little Mermaid, but make it the horror movie version. Like, at one point she was, like, dragged out of the sea by a prince who then made her his wife, and she wasn't actually mute, but he, like, cut out her tongue and made her eat it. And he removed or suppressed all of her magic so she couldn't, like, reach out to her sisters, which were all hunted down and also killed, so she couldn't, like, escape and shit. Then she fell pregnant, and instead of telling him, hey, you're getting monster daughters, she just let it happen, and then all of these little mermaid babies just started eating people in the whole kingdom, and that's how the kingdom, like, fell, and she regained her freedom. It's just a bunch of people getting eaten. That was kind of cool. So we follow her, and she is with a plague doctor who is basically like Frankenstein's monster, but make it more magic based. The way homunculi function, like you have this core and you put it in a body and then the body becomes the homunculi, like kind of that. And that in like a plague doctor setting. And they just travel the lands. Like, this kingdom just fell, and the Plague Doctor is like, yeah, let's just travel and do shit. They don't really have a goal in mind, they just want to go somewhere. And then on their way to this mysterious somewhere, they meet a bunch of children who kill each other because they have these saints that can, like, resurrect them, and it's like this really weird cult that these three people have built around themselves. And then it turns out these three people are the creators of the Plague Doctor, and the Plague Doctor really wants to help these children because these children are being used for experiments, and the Plague Doctor has been through it all before, so they want to help these children, and the mermaid is doing things like that was the plot, just breaking this cult apart, basically. And this mermaid and the Plague Doctor are trying to do it, and it is very visceral. Like, we are getting accurate descriptions of what these Plague Doctors do with these children, with the bodies, how they do it to their own bodies. It is very graphic and wow. But the way it is written makes it like a very beautiful, like, it's very beautiful prose, very beautiful and very raw, I'd have to say. And it was just so good. Like, the vibes are immaculate. It's really fucking good. Like, and I recently heard that there will be like a follow-up to it, which I think is cool, but also why? Because the way it ends, yes, it ends kind of open, but in a way that is still satisfying in the scheme of the, like, if you compare it to the rest of the story, it's a satisfying ending, but also yes, because I need more. So I'm a bit back and forth between those two things. If you want to read like a very, very dark iteration of The Little Mermaid, go for it. You have to be okay with gore and body horror and monsters and things that are basically cannibalism, so be aware before going into that, but man, so good. It's also very refreshing to read something that shows the relationship between the main characters instead of telling you what their relationship is. That was done very, very specifically, and that was really, really good. Yes. Yes. Give me more. So I gave that 4 stars. 100 and something page novella. 4 stars. Fuck yeah. Really good. Can only recommend.
7.8 miles? Are you kidding me? Absolutely fucking no. What I want to know is how do I get that change? But I do want to go to the Secret Mountains. That sounds like the perfect news for some backjack. Am I some grapes. Who knows, maybe I might bring a horse back with.
So I just hung up my pinboard, and I was so sure that I did everything right. I used the fucking water thingy to make sure it's not crooked, right? Yeah. You can't really see it on camera because you don't have a reference, but it is extremely crooked. Doesn't matter though, because A, everything in this house is crooked. There is not a single straight line in this house. And this whole board thing has been living leaning against walls all its life, so it in and of itself is pretty crooked. Like, if you see here, like, I can put my whole finger in this just because the wood is so warped. It's fine. It's fine. I can live with it. It's fine. This is fine. I'm just calling it an aesthetic. Everything in here is wonky. It's just part of the brand. And since I will be putting up more vines around it, I hope that can kind of hide the fact of how bad it is. Maybe I just hang a bunch of these art pieces I have around it, just a tiny bit to the side, so it's not that obvious. Am I proud of this? I'm proud of the fact that it hangs, not how it hangs. That's where I'll leave it at.
Is going to be the key issue to make surgery be successful. If you have fallen.
Doctor now saw the key issue was solved. It was her mentality. She assumes having surgery.
I finished Sad Ghost Club by Lize. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Lize? I don't know. I also forgot the last name of the author, so shame on me, I guess. But I finished Sad Ghost Club. It did not hit me as hard in the feelings as I thought it would, but it still hit some feelings. So, what I did not expect, I totally overlooked the fact that this is for a YA audience for some reason. Just went completely over my head that this is actually a YA thing. So in Sad Ghost Club, we follow a character named SG. They have severe anxiety and they are invited to a party. And they finally get themselves together and say, yes, I'm going to the party, I will have a good time. And then they go to the party and they are not having a good time because they just can't find a way to get to talk to people. They just can't. They try to inject themselves into conversations, but it doesn't really work. So they feel a bit isolated in this very full party, and they are about to leave when they see another person that is also kind of isolated, and they somehow manage to speak to that person, and that person talks back. So they kind of strike a conversation, and then they just collectively decide to leave, and then they are basically like alone together. They just talk about their anxieties and what's going on in their lives and how they feel so detached from everyone else and how they can't wrap their brain around how people can be so social and why it doesn't work for them. That's the whole story. It's just these two people who find each other in similar circumstances and then they just talk. So there's not a lot of plot happening necessarily. It's just these two people. I was expecting it to hit harder than it did because I am that person. I am the person who hesitates to go to like an event with a lot of people, especially if there are a lot of people I don't know, and especially if I don't know if there's anyone I know that I can converse with. But I usually, like, at these events, I'm just standing around smiling, pretending like I am one of the guys, you know? That is me. I felt that. It didn't go as deep as I thought it would go, which is probably due to the fact that this is a YA comic / graphic novel. So the things they talk about, the context is completely different, and the way they talk about it is completely different. It was still a solid read. I gave it 3 stars, but I was expecting more pain, if that makes sense. I'm going to end this clip here now because trash people are outside. it is me again, back with another update. I have to be a bit quiet now, because my stepdad had his first of 3 night shifts, so he is currently asleep. I finished House of Slaughter Volume 3, The Butcher's Return, by James Tynion IV. A couple of other beautiful people, namely these pause to read or something, I don't know. Once again, the Slaughterverse is too pretty for it, like everything, like it's just the art style alone is what gets me in this one. And then on top of that, the world building, and then on top of that, the storytelling. It's like, look at this. If you don't know what the Slaughterverse is about, it's a world in which children can dream monsters into reality if they believe in them strong enough, and then these monsters show up and kill a bunch of people, namely children. The original entry in the Slaughterverse is actually called Something is Killing the Children, and the House of Slaughter comics are like a, not prequel, not sequel, it's just like a side storyline for a couple of characters, because in Something is Killing the Children we mainly follow Erica Slaughter, and there are a bunch of characters involved in that, and what these characters do in the background is highlighted in the House of Slaughter. I think there's also House of Butcher as a comic thing. There's a lot going into the Slaughterverse, but in volume 3 of the House of Slaughter, The Butcher's Return, we follow Jace, and Jace is the last of the legacy butchers, meaning he was born into being one of these monster hunters. They are trained to hunt these imaginary monsters by children that are dreamed of by children, because grown-ups usually can't see them, so you have these houses that are trained to hunt them down that can see these monsters because of a strange ritual. And Jace is the last heir to the Butcher House, which is located in New Orleans, and a legacy hunter means they are born into this, not recruited later on. And there was like this whole conspiracy about his family, and they were all killed, and he's the last survivor of that family thing, and a bunch of shit went down. This actually continues the story that was started in House of Slaughter Volume 1, The Butcher's Mark. This one focuses on Aaron, how he finds Jace, and this now follows Jace because Jace has said no to monster hunting and is now collecting children that were hunted down by these monsters. He's saving them, but instead of turning them into hunters, which is the usual modus operandi, he decides to just protect these children and to make sure that these children don't accidentally summon new monsters into existence. And he's basically camping out with them in the forest and running away from these houses. And in this volume he gets a bit too close to New Orleans, where the House of Butcher has been rebuilt, now without the legacy hunters, and so his past is coming back to bite him in the ass a bit. And it's so good. Like, it's a nice contrast to see Jace the way he is now, because he's very much trying to leave the life of a hunter behind, to leave this life of violence that he was born into behind, to protect these children, to let these children be children instead of having them turned into weapons. Because it's the Slaughterverse, there is of course a lot of violence still going on, but it's nice to see the softer side of him, because he is in love with Aaron, from the guy you saw on the cover of House of Slaughter Volume 1, and Aaron is very much hunter. And these two have actually like made a little ploy so that Jace can actually live this life of freedom and take care of the kids. Aaron helped him fake his own death, so he has the room to do that, and now he's back in the limelight again. And I need Volume 4, because the next volume is called, this is how this ends: the butcher will meet his end. And the thing is, I am deeply in love with Aaron as a character, and Aaron is deeply in love with Jace, so if Jace dies, I can't. Also, high-ranking people in this volume said that Aaron is already dead. Do not do this to me. No, I need Aaron in my life, okay? I need Aaron in my life. If you kill him, no, do not kill Aaron. If you touch Aaron, no. But yeah, I gave this 4 stars because it's just good, and I love the Slaughterverse. And yes, if you want a good horror comic with complex characters, go for anything in the Slaughterverse. Something is Killing the Children is following Erica Slaughter and her mission in a place called Archer's Peak, and you are zooming in on this one mission and the complications around that. And in House of Slaughter, again, you get like backstory shit of the houses and the politics between these houses, like House of Slaughter, House of Butcher, all of that stuff. And you get information on the mask colors, because that is important. So basically this is giving you more world building building, this is giving you more coherent storyline plot, basically. There is, I think, a guide out there that basically helps you connect these two series so that everything makes like chronological sense, but in my opinion, you can read these without having to read these, and you can read these without having to read these, which was kind of the point of these two. I so far only have 4 entries into the Slaughterverse, the first volume of Something is Killing the Children and the first 3 of House of Slaughter, and I need more. I desperately need more. I'm actually thinking about taking some money into my hand and get the deluxe editions, where it's like you have like thick hardcover volumes of these things. The thing is, for the House of Slaughter, they come without the cover art, and I love seeing the cover arts of the different volumes of comics, especially in the Slaughterverse, because you get beautiful pieces like this. It's just so pretty to get all of these art pieces. And I'm an art whore, if you didn't know. Having to sacrifice this to get the giant volumes, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. Very talented people work on these. I could show you this cover gallery all day long. I'm gonna stop here now. If you want to read good horror comics, read anything in the Slaughterverse. It's worth it. I'm actually so much of a fan of the House of Slaughter covers that for my new art wall, I actually printed out one of the covers. This is an alternate version of the cover of House of Slaughter Volume 1 for my art wall. Like, this is going up on my art wall next to a bunch of other beautiful art pieces. Hi, hello, yes, it is me, still talking gently because of night shift shenanigans, but I wanted to give an update because I started the Housemaid by Freida McFadden, and I'm about 100 pages in, like 100 and something. I just crossed the 100-page mark, and so far there is not much I can say about it. I don't know, it's hard to quantify what I think about this book. The main character is okay, I guess. Nothing wrong with her. Nina, the lady of the house, absolute fucking bitch, but I don't know what her deal is exactly, because I know that Freida McFadden is like the queen of plot twists, apparently. I don't trust the information I've been given about Nina. Do I think there is something wrong with her? Yes, probably. But at the same time, I just don't trust any of the information I've been given. Andrew seems nice. The child is an absolute brat. So someone died. The prologue says someone died. And it is not the housemaid. The housemaid survives, but the housemaid is probably indicated to be the one who killed whoever died. So right now my mind is like, who died and who done did it? The obvious way you would go is the housemaid kills Nina, but because that is so obvious, I want to say Andrew dies. Andrew dies at the hands of his wife, Nina, and Nina wants to make the housemaid responsible for it. But I also have this one thought of like, you have to go completely bonkers with this whole thing. So what if the child is actually the killer? Or Andrew kills Nina. That is also a possibility. So it's either Andrew kills Nina, but I don't think that's going to happen because Andrew is, for some reason, so infatuated with Nina. He's just a nice guy, and Nina just happens to be a whack job. So it's either Andrew kills Nina, or Nina kills Andrew and blames the housemaid. That is what I'm going for, even though the story very much points you at the housemaid is going to kill Nina. But I'm only 100 pages in, so I'm pretty sure things are going to keep happening now. So I will get back to you on page ±200.
6.5 hours later.
You can't even really see me right now, but I have to make this update. I'm still reading the Housemaid, and I just finished chapter 21, and I have to update my theory. I still don't know about who died and who killed who, but I'm pretty sure Andrew would love to leave Nina, but he can't because she's trapping him with whatever is going on with her mental health. I'm pretty sure it's a situation where, like, if you leave me, I commit suicide, and, like, because he's not the dad of the kid of Cecilia, he can't save the girl, and Nina already tried to kill herself and her daughter, so I'm 100% sure he's only staying with Nina because of Cecilia, because he doesn't want to be quote-unquote responsible for anyone dying. This shit is getting interesting. I'm starting to get suspicious of Millie, the maid. She's in love with Andrew, who is her boss, married to Nina. And yeah, he wants out. Yeah, they slept together, but what is the basis of this falling in love? Like, Millie never even really had she had a small crush on him because, like, he's an attractive, nice guy, but where is the basis for this to escalate into love? What the fuck is wrong with you, Millie? Are you going to kill Andrew in order to set him free from Nina? I don't trust the bitch. I don't trust her anymore. Also, Andrew not liking Enzo, I think that's a red herring. I don't think Enzo has anything to do with anything. He's just the gardener. He's just there. I do think he speaks English, though. Do think he understands what these people are talking about. He just pretends not to understand English so he doesn't get roped into the drama. Which, I mean, fair. Totally fair. Okay, so chapter 33 just happened. If you know, you know. I think Andrew's going to kill someone, or Andrew's going to try and kill someone and then ends up dead. I don't trust Andrew anymore. This book is sending me. What is happening? I don't trust Andrew anymore. I still don't trust Nina. Don't get me wrong, I still don't trust Nina, but oh my god, I also don't trust Andrew anymore. But also, there's another possibility here. What if Millie, the maid, is an unreliable narrator and she's just telling it in a way that makes her look good and she's the bad one? It's been a hot second since a thriller led me astray like that. And I know part of this confusion on my part is just because everyone says there is a plot twist that is twisting in here. I genuinely don't know who is the one who's dying or who is the one who's killing. I just don't know. I don't know. This shit is good. And now chapter 33 happened? 34 happened? Enzo! I knew Enzo was good with English. I knew he speaks English, but what do you mean Andrew is the bad guy? What do you mean, Enzo? Oh my god. Did Andrew put Nina on all of these medications? And that made her weird, and Nina's actually, like, just a good person, but because he put her on all these meds, shit went haywire. What is going on? Look, it's my new art wall. I put it up, I have to use it, right? Don't mind Winona Earp being a bit wonky because I ran out of tape to glue shit down, so now it's just dangling here. Everything else is secure, it's just Winona, a bit precarious. As always. Different thing altogether. I finished my novella that I wanted to read in the dark, which is The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. I really don't know what to think about The Ballad of Black Tom. It started great. We follow this guy, Thomas Tester, whatever the fuck his name is, and he is a 20-year-old black man in New York in, I think, the 1920s, something like that. And his dad is basically sick, staying at home, so he has to make money, and he is doing that by hustling and bustling. Like, he's bringing magical shit from A to B, and on occasion he pretends to be a street musician to get some money. And we follow him on one of these deliveries where he delivers a book that is very dangerous, so he tampers a bit with it, but he delivers it no problem. And then he pretends to be a street musician, and then some white cops show up and they rough him up and steal his money. So far so good. He then meets a very weird guy when he continues to pretend to be basically a musician meets a weird guy, and then weird guy is like, hey, you're going to play music for me at my venue for like $500, and he's like, shit, that's $500, that's like half a year's worth of hustling. So of course he goes there, and this weird guy then shows him very weird things, and that part was all good and well. That's like the first part. You have the novella is basically split into two parts. The first part follows Tom and his perspective on his life, which is basically just a little bit altered history to sprinkle in some magic. And it's fine. It's a lot of telling, but I'm like, it's a novella, it's fine. You have to tell a bit more in a novella, but the vibes are there. The vibes of an historical New York where white people hate everything that is not born in America. It's basically the whole we hate all immigrants side of things is well explained, and that the fact that like black people had to stay in certain areas of the city. Literally, these cops rough Tom up because he is in a white neighborhood where black people aren't supposed to be. They literally tell him, you're not supposed to be here, go back home. Like, he could have said he's living there, no one would have believed him. That kind of stuff. Like, the atmosphere is spot on. The presentation of the setting is spot on. And Tom is a very likable character. Like, he's hustling, he's a young man in New York, and he's trying his best to do what is needed to keep a roof over his and his dad's head. He's just a guy. He's just a guy trying his best in a shitty situation. Cool. And then he meets this weird guy, and the weird guy is also spot on with his weirdness. He's like very cryptic about things, but he's like like everything will be revealed if you stick with me kind of guy. And Tom is sticking with him because he's a 20-year-old idiot who sees $500 dangling in front of his face. So of course he's going with it. And then this weird guy reveals some cosmic horror mythological secrets to Tom, and that is also cool. Like, Tom is like, what the fuck you on about, man? Like, but Tom is like, the money, weird guy, money, weird guy. He's just a weird guy. I need the money. So he sticks with it. And then you have the second part. And the second part is where shit goes weird in a way that I don't know how to quantify. Because in the second part, we follow one of the cops that roughed Tom up in the first place. His name is Malone. And apparently Malone was put on a special task force to keep an eye on the weird guy. Okay. And this is where the novella speeds up, because a lot of things happen that need time. A lot of things in the setting change, and these setting changes take weeks. So we speed through that part while we follow Malone. And Malone is basically just sitting there watching the weird guy and things happening around the weird guy. First and foremost, Tom disappeared. Okay. Then he in his neighborhood, like, he's one of the white cops who can hang out in the immigrant quarters and no one bats an eye. But the dynamic in these quarters shifts. People move from A to B. People start talking more about the weird guy, but in a way that is like very appreciative. People seem to appreciate the weird guy for some reason. So Malone is trying to check it out, and then weird things happen to him. And after that, the whole quarter is staring at him like he's the odd one out, because he's in a black neighborhood and he's a white policeman. Of course he's the one sticking out. But now people treat him like he's sticking out. So his work gets hard to do, and then Tom shows back up, and instead of going by Thomas Tester, whatever the fuck his name is, he is now called Black Tom. So Malone is investigating that for some reason. Then weird shit happens around Black Tom, and weird shit happens around the weird guy, and then for some reason we have to call a whole ass special equipped team. Like, they literally pull up with cannons to a building because Malone has a bad feeling about the building, and then they go into the building and a bunch of people die and some blood rituals happen, and Black Tom is incredibly evil, and Malone just about gets out of this whole thing alive, and Black Tom jumps into an interdimensional portal and disappears, and then everything goes back to normal. But Malone is highly traumatized, so we ship him to the countryside, where we gaslight him into believing none of this weird shit happens. It was just a building collapse. And then one day, Malone looks into the sky, and the sky blinks back. And then we cut back to a last chapter from Tom, and Tom is like, am I a good guy or am I a bad guy? Can I get my soul back? I don't fucking know. Cthulhu is here. And you think that is a bad description of what happened? That is an accurate description of what happened. In the second half of this novella, we throw everything out of the window, like the cool setting, the cool atmosphere, the intriguing characters. We take all of that, we throw it out of the window because we only have 60 pages left to tell the story and we need to summon Cthulhu, so let's get cracking. And in the first half of this novella, the telling was bearable because it was a novella and it was enough, like it was interwoven with the rest, with dialogue and shit like that. Like it was spaced well, it was done well, the pacing worked. And then we hit Malone's perspective and everything is just so sped up to a point where it starts to not make sense anymore, to not be interesting anymore. It actually felt like the author just wanted to get shit done, as if there is a looming deadline that he had to hit and he couldn't figure out how to get there in time. So we're rushing through that and nothing makes sense. And it was just kind of disappointing because I was promised cosmic horror. The only thing that makes this cosmic horror is the fact that Cthulhu gets name dropped twice. And the seeds were there. The way that the whole thing with Tom and the notes he's singing, like he starts singing and then buildings just disappear from reality. He hums a different note and he teleports away and people get these headaches from these notes that he's producing. He's not even singing them, he's more like humming them. That was such a cool aspect and it was so underutilized because we had to rip a hole into space-time to say hi to Cthulhu. Also, Tom's motivation just wasn't really there. Like the way it's flipped, like he was very much a guy who was like, yeah, these are the circumstances I'm living in, I'm living with them, nothing I can change about that. That was his whole character. Like he was just trying to survive in the circumstances he was given, as bad as they were. And then out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, he gets up, smashes his guitar and walks through one of those portals because he's sick of everything. And I mean, fair, to be sick of the situation he's in, that is totally fair. But it just, the way it came about for him felt like a betrayal of the character we were setting up for 60 pages. So that came kind of out of nowhere. And then that little redemption epilogue at the end where he's like questioning his own humanity and if he can get his soul back or not just didn't do it. It just didn't get back to the whole thing. It just didn't do it. I read Black Tom, I read it in the dark, and I was expecting a lot more than what it gave me. It's a low 3 stars because 50% of it was actually intriguing and good, and the potential for the second half was there. We just rushed through it. I actually think we don't necessarily have to blow it up into a whole book, but I think it could have done with like 100 pages more. Make it a 200-page thing and split the POVs better and fix the pacing, especially in the second half. The pacing in the second half was all over the place. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. Low 3 stars for the Ballad of Black Tom. I wanted more. I just finished chapter 39 and I'm pretty sure Nina and Millie are going to kill Andrew because what the fuck? I started to smell something fishy about him, but I didn't think it was that fishy. Like, this is a whole ass, like, fishing boat. What the fuck?
12 seconds later.
Just finished chapter 47. So Enzo is also not as irrelevant as I thought. Is Enzo going to kill Andrew for Nina and Millie? I don't know what's going on anymore. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure that Andrew is going to be the body that is being found in the prologue. I just don't know who's going to do it because they all have motive. I guess Nina doesn't have motive yet, but now seeing what Andrew did to Nina, I'm pretty sure he's starting to do it to Millie as well. What is going on? So I was wrong about the person in the prologue. Fucking mommy issues. What? Wow. So I was mostly wrong with my predictions about the housemaid, and I'm not mad about it. Wow. Wow. I mean, I had my suspicions about the mom because she was weird from the get-go, and I watched enough Criminal Minds to understand that mommy issues are a thing. But wow. I did not expect myself to be wrong about the person in the prologue, like the POV that the prologue is from. I was not, wow. I don't even know how to review this book now without giving major spoilers, especially considering what I already said in previous clips, so wow. Now I'm actually interested in seeing where the other housemaid books go. Like, I think there are 2 more. Are we still following Millie? Are we following Millie and like her in other households where shit goes down? Or are we following different housemates in households where shit is going down? Wow. It's been a hot second since I read a thriller that got me so riled up. This is some good shit. The plot twists were certainly twisting. Yeah, the internet is correct. The plot twists are certainly twisting. I do have to say the first 100 pages are a bit, I don't want to say a slog, but this is a book that needs time to get there. The first 100 pages are, don't judge this book in the first 100 pages. You have to sit through that. At around page 150 is when things get really interesting. So like you have to make like the first, not quite the first half, but you have to stick with it for a hot second. But wow, I did not expect this to get this good this quickly. Wow. I can't give you a rating because I literally just finished it. I only moved the camera from over here to over here. That's all I did. So I have to sit with this for a hot second to figure out what I'm going to give this in terms of rating. But I'm feeling a 5-star. I'm feeling this deserves a 5-star. So I will sit with it for a hot second, and then I will yeet it through Khaw pile, and then we will see where it finally ends up. But wow. And now I have to figure out what I'm going to read next? What? How? Okay, so I put the housemaid through Khaw pile, and yeah, it's a 5-star. It's a 5-star. It's the highest. It's the second highest rated 5-star of the year so far for me. So yeah, it's a 5-star, and I take it. That being the final read for me for Summerween. Glorious, glorious. Shut up, plane. Brilliant ending to my Summerween vlog with a mind-boggling 5-star. I take it. I'm actively fighting the urge to pick up the next book in the series because wow. If I pick it up or if I don't pick it up, doesn't matter because this vlog will end here and now because Summerween is actually over. It's the last day and I just finished my last book, so here we are. Congratulations, you made it through a kind of long vlog from me. I had fun. I hope you had fun. If you made it this far into the video, let me know what you read for Summerween, if you participated in Summerween, and if you don't want to talk to me at all, leave a ghosty emoji in the comments down below, and I guess I see you in the next video. Bye.